We're kicking off our partnership with TED to highlight individuals and ideas that are shaping our world. It's all part of our new series, Ideas That Matter. Huntington, West Virginia Fire Chief Jan Rader is one of those people. Rader's work fighting the opioid epidemic in her city is featured in the Emmy-winning Netflix documentary, Heroin. Her efforts earned her a place on this year's Time 100 list of the most influential people.
Rader helped establish quick response teams to visit and speak with patients within 72 hours of their overdoses. She also helped start ProAct, a one-stop clinic for those suffering from substance abuse disorder. And she is focused on self-care initiatives for first responders who help patients. In her TED Talk, released this morning, Rader says these programs are starting to make an impact in her community.
Currently, our overdose deaths are down 50%. This epidemic is far from over, but each and every one of us has a part to play in this epidemic. Just by listening and being kind to somebody, you have the ability to make a difference in their lives.
And Jan Rader joins us at the table. Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Huntington, your city, was once called the overdose capital of America. But as you pointed out, you're turning that around. What's working?
I think that the big issue, or what has really worked, is we have come together as a community. We have hundreds of people working diligently and putting their ego aside to work on this issue. And that matters. You know, we have competitors coming together to form something called ProAct to provide a way to get somebody help within 2 hours of being assessed, whereas before it might take a couple days or a week to get somebody help who's suffering from substance use disorder.
It's an all-hands-on-deck approach, right? And the first is taking away the stigma.
Stigma is huge, and it's huge in two ways, not only for those suffering from substance use disorder, but for the first responders who are suffering from compassion fatigue and need mental health services. So we're trying to work on that.
So helping them is as important as helping the victim.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I went to Martinburg a few years ago and ran into a group of women called the Hope Dealers, and they were
fantastic.
One-stop shop. Really were volunteers out there getting people to where they needed to go. How much are you pushing efforts like that?
I think that it is. We're pushing it day after day after day. We've been working on this in Huntington for 4 years. We have other communities around the country coming to talk to us about what we are doing and what matters.
So let's specifically break that down, exactly what you were doing.
Yes.
First of all, naloxone, right?
Naloxone in the first responders' hands, and friends and family. We have over 2,000 saves from friends and family having naloxone at home to be able to administer it to their loved
What
ones.
took that to happen? West Virginia said, here are the resources to do that? Or
We changed legislative laws so that we could do that, and we got grants so that we could provide that for our first responders, and our health department was huge in doing that.
That has reduced deaths. Then you talk about self-care for first responders. Explain that.
Okay, so this, first responders, we are the cavalry. We want to help somebody. In an instance where you have somebody suffering from substance use disorder, you might Narcan them over and over and over again and then find them dead. And we feel like we can't make a difference, and that takes a toll on us. So we need to provide our first responders with ways to deal with the stress that they see, and to give them tools that they can use to help those suffering, like being able to take them to ProAct, or the quick response team can actually help them.
You talk about stigma and reducing stigma. How do you make that psychological change in effect, both among the victims themselves and among the public?
I think that the first step is talking about it. We have to talk about it, and it might be a painful conversation, but we have to talk about it and get the information out there.
What role does the drug industry play in terms of flooding your state with painkillers like these?
Oh, they flooded it, we can't even, there's a lot of blame to go around. But the fact of the matter is, this is where we are, and we have to move forward. And we don't want to dwell on that. We want to move forward.
In the past, with heroin and crack, there was essentially criminalization of the behavior. What lessons have you learned from that in terms of the compassionate care that you're seeing now?
Somebody suffering from substance use disorder or addiction is actually a fragile person. Okay? They are hopeless. And the way we treat them can make their situation better or worse. So even a wisecrack made by somebody can make their situation worse. So we need to treat them with kindness and compassion and show them that they are a good person and that they do deserve to get better, because they can.
Jan Rader, the first female fire chief in West Virginia.
Yes.
Love to see how your leadership is making real change. A role model and inspiration for many people. So nice to have you here, Chief. Thank you. And to learn more about Huntington's compassionate response to the opioid epidemic and watch Jan's TED Talk, congratulations. I know that is not easy. Visit our website at cbsthismorning.com.